Clark Stork, the Director of Communications here again. I'm joined by Mike McEvay, who's the new General Manager at Elmwood Golf Club in Swift Current. Comes out of British Columbia and is making his first tour into Saskatchewan. But, thanks for doing this today, Mike. Welcome to the province. And I guess before we talk about, Elmwood and what brought you here and the enticement of that position, how did the game of golf in your career kind of get started for you?
I kind of grew up around Vancouver Island, and my first kind of experience with golf started at about the age of 13. I was kind of lucky enough to grow up on two great tracks. I grew up a little bit on March Meadows, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it's the home of Don Co Jones. So that was kind of my first kick at the can, where for us to get to the golf course, we had to take a half-an-hour bike ride to get there. We'd stuff our bag into a locker, and which technically you weren't supposed to, and then ride our bikes another half an hour home or whatever, right? So, and then we, once we moved down to Victoria, I joined Cedar Hill Golf Course, which, if it's not the busiest course in the country, I'd be kind of surprised. It's a muni, there you had to learn to play quick. It was first come, first serve. There was no tee time, so you show up there and there's tournaments, and all of a sudden you get a 4-hour wait. So you quickly learn to spend some time putting and chipping and working on those. I didn't really have much of a driving range at the time, so ironically, the best part of my game today is the short game. So I guess it's in a way because of the time you get to spend there. And I went through the golf program at Camosun College. It was a 3-year program there, and had a couple of work terms with that program. Those work terms included time at the Cranbrook Golf Club, as well as the Okanagan Golf Club. And my first kind of full job in the industry was the Nanaimo Golf Club. I was lucky enough to spend 5 years there. It's a great track, 750 members. So very, very, very busy. If you don't have a tee time 7 days in advance for the following Saturday, you're looking after 3 o'clock kind of thing. But it also gave me an opportunity to work with a lot of really good juniors, develop a junior program there, and kind of grow that. So there was a big opportunity there. And then my first head pro gig came after that, working at the Aerosmith Golf and Country Club. And smaller track, but it kind of gave me my foot in the door. Gave me an opportunity to hire my own staff, gave me an opportunity to purchase the merchandise and focus on those types of things. And just kind of a side story on that is, I remember my first year there, one of the sales reps comes in and says, Mike, how are you going to get rid of all this stuff? Because I just stuffed the pro shop. He comes back in September and he says, Mike, how'd you get rid of all this stuff? Obviously kind of a unique story or whatnot, but from there I moved on to the Goose Summit Golf Resort. It's one of the best places I've had the opportunity to work. The GM there is absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot, grew a lot there. You spent 7 years. That's a good portion of, I'm 37 years old now, so it's nearly a quarter of my life that I spent there. So it was a great experience, and we did a lot of things there and grew a lot of different aspects of the business. So that was a lot of fun. I spent a year as the GM after that at the Myrtle Point Golf Club in Powell River, BC, before coming here for this position.
So bouncing around British Columbia a lot, where you guys get to play a lot of golf a lot longer. What was enticing about Swift Current, Saskatchewan?
Well, for me, the Goose Summit Golf Resort, there's some similarities, in the sense that, it's a shortened season. So when we talk about there to here, We're looking 6 to 7 months, just depending on the weather. Thankfully, this year the weather's good. From that, one of the things that I do like about it is it gives you that winter time to kind of refresh. When you work in BC, I'd say you might work a little less in season, but you work quite a bit year round. So whereas here, it's like a lot of work, come season, and then you can kind of kick your feet up a bit in the winter time, right? So my wife and I, we like to play hockey. I love to ref hockey. I did a lot of that in Edmonton. As I said, between all that, it just gives us an opportunity to kind of refresh and kind of be a part of the community in the wintertime more than we can be probably in the summer.
For sure. Did you come visit Swift Current after you applied, or when you were going through the interview process, or what kind of research did you do on the community?
For myself, to be honest, prior to coming here for the job, I've never been to Saskatchewan.
That's not unheard of. Don't worry. I talked to a lot of you guys that take jobs here. That's not unheard of.
That being said, is that again, comparative to my time in Alberta, I'd never been to Alberta before spending 7 years at Goosehammock. So, from our research, obviously the Swift Current Broncos, play here. So, being avid hockey fans or whatnot, that's a big plus. Having a great golf course or whatnot is a massive plus as well. I mean, there are some similarities, I think, here to the Nanaimo Golf Club. Obviously with the number of members here, it's quite a big club, which, just gives me, this big opportunity to, again, add another element to, my experience and whatnot. And I think that for sure that there's nothing that, kind of compares to, member life. I'm kind of looking forward to what the season's going to bring.
Yeah, it is right around the corner, like you mentioned. Elmwood is one of Saskatchewan's top golf courses. It's going to host the biggest event of the year in July. The amateurs will be there, and obviously you don't take us right in the boardroom when it comes to what you guys are planning there. But what do you have planned for the Elmwood? How do you want to leave your mark and put a stamp on this golf course?
For me, especially in the first year, I just want to kind of sit back and kind of observe. Myself, I just want to see how things operate first and kind of listen to what people want and then come up with plans for that. For myself, I certainly, believe, in junior golf. I believe in, trying to not necessarily get more people here through discounting, but more trying to get more people playing the game. More people enjoying the game. If you got a member who's playing 100 rounds, I'm looking to see if they can get up to 105 the year after. For me, I think it's just growing the number of people playing here, the number of people enjoying their experience here.
Have you had a chance to really tour the 18 holes? It's a very unique course, and as I said, it's a spectacular one.
I went out, there at the end of March and brought a driver and a couple of golf balls, and went out with one of the board members and just kind of walked a bit of the course and toured it a bit, and maybe hit about 5 tee balls. Some were findable, some weren't. I think, it's the type of golf course that I like. My favorite type of golf courses are parkland style. So you get that a bit here. The reason why I like them is because there's not per se a lot of opportunities to lose your golf ball. But if you hit into the trees or you put yourself in trouble, you can still advance at 50 to 100 yards. And then again, short game becomes a big factor. So as I said, that's more creativity and, the enjoyment of the game comes in for me. I will also admit I typically play link style golf course better than anything. So while that doesn't match what this is, it matches a number of courses in Saskatchewan. So, that obviously is good as well. But I think one of the things that's kind of unique here more than anything is, what someone coming from outside the province might think is, it's going to be flat, and not a lot of elevation change. I think that's something that's unique about this golf course or whatnot, is that you do get some elevation change, here on the facility. But then also, when you go out for drinks after, I mean, the view, that you get here or whatnot is one of the best of the clubs I've worked at. And again, stereotypically, that's not what people probably would come here expecting.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And I know when you finally get a chance during the season to play and you go out with Jeff and Brendan, you have to bring your A game there if you're going to hang with those guys. I'm going to warn you right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. But I'll just make them play left-handed.
That's right. We were there last year for the juniors. It was a fantastic 3 days. One day was they got the real Southwest Saskatchewan weather with the rain and the wind. A couple of days were great, and the scores are great. The events were great. Coming up this July, right into the fire, where you get to host our best amateur women, men, and mid-amateur golfers. How exciting is that in your first year?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, get to see some of the best players in the province come and play, the facility, see what they can do out here. Obviously, an opportunity to see, how the superintendent can get the course ready and see in some ways how tough the course can play or whatnot, sit with the best players in the province. And I think that's very exciting. I had an opportunity at Goose to host the Future Links Championship. So, it's exciting times or whatnot. There's usually a lot of buzz, and it's not just, with the people coming, it's the members and the public as well. I mean, these are exciting times or whatnot, especially during a pandemic, to be able to, host such an event or whatnot, is something I definitely look forward to.
Great. I guess just off the golf course, you mentioned, you're a big hockey fan. Swift Current, obviously a great hockey town. They're going through a little, some wayward times right now. That's, with their head coach, Dean Brockman, is a good friend of mine from Humboldt. But I guess tell us about, you mentioned your wife. Is there kids involved, or what's kind of the, away from the golf course for you guys?
No kids. We're both kind of workaholics, so that makes it a bit challenging or whatnot. But we both play golf. We both play hockey. Other than that, we enjoy kind of going to concerts or hockey games or, those types of things. I'd have no, issues kind of saying we've probably been to at least 50, concerts. We've probably been to 200 hockey games. We were lucky, again, going back to Edmonton, we were lucky there. The first 2 years we were there was 2013, 2014. And 2013, they made it to the Western Final, and 2014, they won the Memorial Cup. So, as said, there's some excitement that way. And then, just from reffing in Edmonton as well, and my time at the golf course, I got to get at least a little bit of, got to meet former Swift Current Bronco or whatnot, and ref them and that kind of stuff. I played out of the golf course there once in a while. And that was Nathan Smith. So he played for the Broncos, I want to say 98, 99 to, maybe 2000, 2001-ish. I think it's kind of, unique that way. I think having, the Broncos Classic here as well, and having the opportunity to have some, alumni come back and play in the tournament and, meet some of these guys is also something that's, intriguing and interesting for sure.
Perfect. Well, hockey and golf is a great fit here in Saskatchewan. Welcome to Saskatchewan, and best of luck at the Elmwood. Thanks for doing this today, and we'll definitely see you in mid-July. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to have this interview, and I'm sure we'll meet and chat it up many times. Thanks for the opportunity.